Hey man, you ever looking to flatter?
Okay, this is the last part, but I wanted to throw this picture in. I took a screenshot of the first part that I put out at one point. Show you these islands at that higher perspective. And then, of course, like I showed throughout the whole videos, I had my camera down low. And right now, I'm actually raising the camera back up. Um, to the next notch up. Not at the 5 foot setting that I could have it at. I'm going up to the second notch up from the lowest setting. All right. I probably could have cut this part out, but I left it in there just to kind of showed it. Yeah, I'm wobbling my camera around and raising up the legs on the tripod. Um, so kind of a little stupid, boring part that, somebody that wants to edit can cut out because it's really worthless. But I don't really like cutting a lot of my videos apart. I don't like chopping them up. That's just me. I like to see my full observations, and that's the way I like to present them. Other people that want to use my stuff, if they want to edit it, that's fine. I don't have a problem. Uh, would like to have a Okay, here's here you can see the tower from the Anclote power plant right there at the very beginning to the left. I don't really focus in on that too much, but obviously you can see by me raising my camera up slightly, I can see more of the surface and see more water. It's not that I'm seeing over the curve, it's just that I'm getting a better angular resolution at a higher perspective. It's just like these rocks sitting out there. I can't see right behind them, but the higher I go, the more I can see behind them. It's not that I'm seeing behind the rock, is I'm getting a better angular resolution. I would be seeing behind the rock, but check out these people out there too, in this shallow water. A lot of times you'll see people standing out there because in certain areas it's real shallow. Um, and then, of course, here's these rocks that stick up that, are just barely sticking up out of the water. And here we go back to this island where I caught that boat originally. And look at there, they're still there. They've been fishing in that spot for like 2 hours. So they must have had a good time. Otherwise, they would have probably moved. But obviously, I can see more of that surface. So, of course, I'm going to get a better view being at a little higher height. Again, you have to go and use a tabletop. And if the longer the tabletop, the better it is to do a perspective. Because if you set something down at the very end, what you'll probably notice is the light diffraction coming up to the bottom of the object and kind of slightly cutting it off. Use a BB, use a marble, set it at the end, and you'll start seeing what I'm talking about. Now, here's these bird racks that are these channel markers that are well beyond these islands are sticking up, and I'm actually able to resolve them better because I am at a higher perspective. So again, anything above that visible water plane does not get eaten by the mirroring effect. And this particular day, I mean, this is some excellent footage. As far as I'm concerned, when I look at some of my other videos where I'm up at a much higher perspective, say at the Bayport fishing pier, where I'm up on the seawall, fully extended with my tripod, and on a extremely low tide, and I'm looking at the halfway marker, which is right there from Bayport. It's actually floating, floating in the air, chopped off at the bottom, distorted like all crazy, but that is truly not where the horizon begins. It is that illusion. And again, you can see these channel markers out there much further out. You can see these rocks that are sticking up, where normally you would not see it. Okay. Um, I mean, those rocks that I just went by are barely sticking up out there. And like I said, if you go back to some of my previous videos, you'll find these. Here's the Arapica bird rack too. Oh my goodness. This is really standing out. And later on, I actually, because of my mistaken identity on some of these racks, um, it was the Billy Steele rack that I was mistaken, or the Hernando Beach rack that I was mistaken as Billy Steele's. Um, but now that I know where to look, and toward the end of this video, I had to slow the footage down, but I took a screenshot because I want to show you Cutter's Rock that I was able to get back then, but I didn't know it was there because I always thought that I was already filming Cutter's Rock, because I was always claiming Billy Steele to be actually Cutter's Rock, and Billy Steele's was Hernando Beach. And, I had them switched around because I didn't know. I just honestly did not know. It was not an intentional mistake. It wasn't, I mean, it was a mistake. It was not intentional. And if I had known it, I'd have been looking for this a long time ago, because now that I'm going back through some of my footage, I'm actually seeing it. And I'm like, wow, there it is. But a lot of times I'm moving past it real quick. Um, but if I put the footage in and I slow it way down, I actually see it. So this time I did. And again, I'm looking out there and I'm seeing stuff that I normally do not see, due to the great visibility of this day. Um, Again, you're looking at these pontoon boats. You can see the wake that it's producing, behind the boat. These boats going by. Whoo, man, he's throwing up a big old uh, wake. I'm sitting here watching this and I'm like, oh, wow, this is awesome. Look at that wake come up and block out the rest of the horizon too. Uh, and this is what I say out there, that, anything too that this closer wave or this distorted edge is blocking anything out that gets past that point. So again, this is all based on angular resolution, the height of the observer. Everything goes hand in hand with each other. Of course, if you're looking across that flat surface, like I say, a tabletop, you can make that tabletop into a tiny little bitty sliver. And what are you going to resolve at the very edge of it if you try to film it? Like I said, put a BB at the end of the table and see what you're going to get. You're going to see that it's cut off. And that was one of the things that Life is Short was showing in his video with Jeranism. That's a must see for observers to check it out. Even these crab traps out there, they would be like the bug on the wall if you were 100 yards away. It would just blend into the wall, because I cannot see those bird racks with the naked eye, or those buoy markers with the naked eye. It would just be blended in with that background or within that surface area. I would not see these little white uh, buoy markers out there, crab trap buoys. Um, some could be fish traps. I know some of the fishermen go out there and drop their own little traps out there and go back later and get their bait. But this is one of the reasons why I thought by changing the contrast and making this black and white, um, more stuff would stand out. And this is too why I want to get a infrared camera, because I think I could bring some really good low perspective videos to the table for the flat Earth community. Again, you see this boat just getting further and further away. I wish I would have followed them longer, but that's okay because I've got lots of video to show from the month of October. I believe November, December, January. I had days of bad visibility, days of good visibility, and I plan on trying to do these series like I'm doing here, present them out there for folks that are maybe just stepping into flat Earth so they can get a idea of perspective, angular resolution, um, and how our plane works. Now there's the Hernando Beach rack that again I was mistaken for Billy Steele's. Jet skis coming in. I mean, the detail is so nice. Um, and actually I was surprised because the sky was so clear, but I do think that a lot of this has to do with the evaporation rate, water temperature, air temperature, all being about equal, so the evaporation rate ain't high. um, Again, here's another boat that's way out there, or actually that is a boat out by Billy Steele's rack. Check that out, way out there by Billy Steele's rack. Interesting. Interesting. Now, he's not right out by the rack. He's probably a mile closer to me than that rack, maybe less. But it's obvious that there's a boat out there. And again, in this portion, I'm probably adjusting my compensation exposure, make it a little darker, because I've already set the um, contrast and saturation rate already. So it's nothing that I'm doing right here except for with the camera itself. And of course, I've got a lot more shake because I raised my camera up and I'm in the wind. So I apologize for that. But again, um, for me, this is excellent footage that should be shared and used by other flat earthers to show these differences um, in perspective. Of course, I always try to get my best focus that I can. Sometimes it's hard when, again, you're looking at a small screen, got the sun blaring in your eyes, the reflection off of the viewing screen doesn't make it really easy to, get this focus. And again, I told you I don't like really using the automatic focus because then it wants to kind of like focus in and out on me constantly, and that just bugs the crap out of me. Um, Now here I'm moving my camera toward the west, or straight out, more straight out from the coastline than where I'm at. And then here's Bayport Bird Rack, a boat nearby. You see that's pretty much on spot. Some of the other video I got with Bayport Bird Rack is just unbelievable how cut off, distorted, and shows where that uh, visible water line is compared to the mirroring area, mirror zone, and shows how things get cut off. So that's why I want to present these series and show people that it's not always your height either that causes this mirroring. It has to do with the angle of light too. I think visibility, um, temperature of air and water. I mean, there's a lot of things that go into it. And Life is Short really does a good job on bringing some of this stuff up. Um, Again, I got this part coming up where I'm going to slow it down. Here, I put me a little reminder in here to let me know it's coming up. I slowed this part down to like 0.25%. And when I get to this spot right after these birds because this is a sign, and this should be around the spot that I see Cutter's Rock. Cutter's Rock is right there. I'll put an arrow on it. Then look at that little white sign out there. That's out there by the Cutter's Rock, and of course it stands out because it's reflecting that light. Um, Again, I go back to regular speed, and then I'm going to get toward the last part of the video, which was just like a little over 2 minute segment that I'm going to throw in here and then name off some people that are doing good videos and observations. All right. And some people's names who do good observations, do good videos. 54321 Truth, excellent. Antarctic Warrior, BMLSB 69, excellent observations. Geez, I'm not going to be able to get them all in here in this little time frame. Let's see, we got Buster Brown, we got Bling Bling, Cassandra, Chris Van Matter, um, Cosmic Surfer, Curious Life. Dan's Dimension does put out some good videos too. Decimal Z, Zach from Decimal Z, top notch. Dino Tonelli, Don't Spear the Truth. D. Murphy, um, Flat Earth Core, of course. Um, Flat Earth and Other Hot Potatoes, Mark Sargent. Uh, Flat Earth Perth, Flat Enough. Where's the curve? Globebusters, of course. Hebler Productions, James L.E., plus Level Earth Observer, Adam, Jeranism, J. Tolan Media One, Life is Short, Lightning Dog. Man, I don't know if I can get through them all. Mike Boyle, No Fanfare, P900 Cool Picks, P1000 Cool Picks. Here I'm going to name off a couple real quick. Ron Hallberg, Taboo Conspiracy. Oh, God almighty. There's not enough room. The Buzz Dev. Tet's Truth Tube. Truth and Tunes. Wakey Wakey. Zetetic Truth Tube. Z Proxy. And many more if I forgot to mention your name. Thanks for watching.